Yes, yeah, Billy Sorrell on air, Jordan.
Yeah.
And our very good friend right here, man, she's been rocking with us for a long time, man. She go by the name of Jini Thornton. And
good morning.
You are like, if I was to describe somebody, describe you as somebody that just met you for the first time, what should I say you are? Like a finance guru? Like, what's the best way to describe it?
I'm a CPA.
Okay.
So I'm an accountant, but yeah, I'm a financial expert. My area of specialty really is the entertainment industry, though. I've been an accountant in the entertainment industry for 25 years.
Okay.
But really all things money, but really accounting and tax, I got you.
All right.
I got you.
Now, there's a lot of people out here getting got right now. Like, you're watching the stock market go up and down. This coronavirus information, like you're hearing the best and worst of all things. Like,
Right.
I mean, I've heard all the extremes this weekend.
Right.
And it's making people react and do crazy things.
Very nervous.
I pulled up to my favorite club the other night,
Right.
Costco. And people was
Oh, my gosh.
going crazy.
Stocking up.
Yeah, they was buying everything.
Right.
What should we be doing right now financially?
Well, I think it depends upon who you are in your household. I think this is a great opportunity, if nothing else, to get organized.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us don't know where all of our stuff is.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So let alone a virus, you could have a flood in your house. You could have a storm. Someone in the apartment above you, their pipe can burst and flood your apartment. If you are displaced for a few days or you can't leave for a few days, are you prepared for that?
Are you good?
Yeah, are you good? So a lot of us have no idea where all our paperwork is. And the other thing, too, is not only do I not know, but if something happened to me, do your loved ones know where your stuff is?
Right.
That's huge. There's nothing more frustrating. Someone doesn't even have to die. Someone can just be sick, out of play for a minute. You can't even find anyone's information.
Yeah.
People ain't even willing to give up their phone code, nonetheless, where all the information on the wills and all that other stuff is.
And that's why it's so sad to see, anytime something go down, you see the GoFundMe go up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because
and all that means is lack of preparation.
Yep.
That's exactly what it is. But you have to have somebody that you trust. And it doesn't mean that you have to give them a copy of everything, but they at least need to know where it is.
Right.
Because what else are they going to do? You're already hurt. You're already frustrated. You're already under a lot of stress and duress. And you can't find anything too. It's a waste of time.
So what are some of the ways that you can be prepared in the event of, let's just say, of this national disaster? Something like the coronavirus where people may be out of work for a while if this thing gets crazy. I doubt it. But, what could you do?
It's interesting. If you go to the FEMA's website, because, we think about FEMA in the context of storms.
Right.
But it's federal emergency. Any type of emergency. So they're a really, really good resource. There's another website called ready, READY.gov.
Okay.
It's a great resource. So it'll tell you all the things that you really need to have prepared.
Okay.
Like all the paperwork you need to have prepared, copies of your ID, prescription information, how much money you need to have. Because, how many of us could last if we couldn't use our debit card or credit card for a couple of days?
I wouldn't be able to last a second.
Right.
I don't have no money.
A whole second?
I don't have no money. I have like $2 on me right now.
okay. Like this.
And I don't even know where the $2 came from.
But that's
You woke up
normal
with it
now,
on
though.
you?
Yeah.
No, that's when you pull that pair of pants out and you like, oh.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
But I got credit cards and I got debit cards, so but we should have cash is what you're saying.
Yeah, and I'm not saying we should be stockpiling cash.
Yeah.
But you should have access to cash, though.
Helping get people through these crises that we may be going through at this time and place. And you can hit us up with your question at 866-HUSTLE-8 or 866-487-8538. We got some people. Good morning.
So my name is Miriam Munoz, and I'm calling from Illinois. So I just heard that that they're saying that we should be prepared, and I really do think that we should be prepared. Not only if financially stable, but if we're not, that we should all be prepared and have life insurance. I just really truly think that life insurance is really important, and I just wanted to know if that's a topic that could be mentioned.
I think life insurance is extremely important.
Yeah.
I think we underestimate it, and people always ask me, how much should they have? I think you should get what you can afford to get.
Okay.
The standard is typically 8 to 10 times your annual income, but get what your budget allows you to get, and get term insurance because it's the cheapest for sure.
I was going to ask too about disability insurance as well, and the possibility of picking that up for people who don't necessarily get, benefits if something happens on the job.
You're more likely to become disabled than you are to die.
Yeah.
So having disability insurance is everything.
Yeah.
And you think about it, if you go out on maternity leave, you're technically disabled. So you don't have to be in a car accident to have, be considered disabled. It's extremely important to get. So if your employer offers it, please take advantage of it. I know they're going to take some money out your check, but you absolutely want to have it for sure.
And if your employer does that, I think our financial advisors or certain people, they also offer it.
There are lots of places. You just want to make sure that whatever insurance company you use, you want to check their AM Best rating. You want to make sure they have at least an A rating, preferably an A+. But any insurance company that you work with, make sure that they're at least A rated.
Yeah. I was checking out State Farm. I was looking at some of their disability insurance situations as well. I also want to ask you, Jini, let's talk a little bit about, so the stock market, this weekend I've seen it everywhere. Right. It was like, the stock market crashed. Everyone's talking about, get in. Now's a great time to buy.
Right.
And two things to that for me was one, like, okay, yes, the stock market made a correction, but it's still at all-time highs.
Definitely.
So what a correction, and as opposed to like how much the stocks are still costing, is still pretty high. And then the other thing I always ask my friends is, okay, have you checked off your other buckets? Like, have you filled your other buckets before you jump right into, let me roll the dice on Apple right now?
Right.
And can we speak to like some of the things you could consider? Because it might be a good time. Stocks are on sale. That's a great thing. But things that we should consider prior to the stocks, like making sure you have these other buckets full.
I think your bucket analogy is perfect. And your first bucket is your just savings or emergency. Yeah. How long, and that you can answer that question, how long can you go without working? So how much cash do you have? And so how much we want or need depends upon who we are in our lifestyle.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So some people say as low as $1,000, and you'll hear people say 6 to 12 months.
Yeah.
So what do they say? 78% of Americans have less than $1,000 saved. Literally. No, that's true.
What?
That's a fact. So
How many people percent?
70%.
78%.
Damn.
That's more than half.
Yes, that's more than half of Americans do not have $1,000
That's a lot of
saved.
people.
So bucket number one obviously is savings.
Yeah.
Bucket number two is retirement. Even if your company doesn't match, people say that all the time. My company doesn't match, so I'm not doing my 401k. You are responsible for your own retirement.
Absolutely.
The government's not going to do it for you.
Yeah.
No one else is going to do it for you. So please, please, please fund your retirement. And if you are funding it, this is an opportunity to increase it.
Yeah. Or max if you can.
Every time period, every 3 to 6 months, see if you can bump it up a little bit until you're finally getting to the maximum. And then now it's time to get into the market.
Yeah. Now let's have fun.
Now you can have some fun. And then you should invest to the degree that you can stomach it and that you can handle it.
Yeah.
But
'cause it
please,
get real.
yeah, please educate yourself, though. It's not gambling, it's not Vegas.
Yeah.
So it requires you actually to do a little bit of research versus just like, I'm all in. You should baby step into it, though. Pick an amount that you can afford to say, hey, I'm going to start with this, see how you do with that, and then increase it.
Now, a quick question. Now, there's a lot of people riding around right now, and they may not be able to retain all this information in one sitting. What are some websites they can go to, or your website perhaps, to where they can get more information about how to be more financially literate?
My website is JiniThornton.com. That's JiniThornton. And you can reach me on Instagram, Facebook the same way. And, what I suggest people do, Headcrack, and I'm glad you asked that, you have to be a student. To really win with money. Don't take it on like it's a full-time job, but you have to commit. You have to put time in, and I want you to have a dedicated time, scheduled time where you focus on money.
Yeah.
Not on social media, not watching television, but where you're going to be focused on everything from paying bills, what your goals are, what it's going to take for you to retire. You should have a money meeting with yourself, or if you're living with someone or you're in a relationship, y'all should have a committed time where you focus on nothing but money.
Right.
And I see like a lot of my peers, well, just as of recently, like some of my bros that in the group text are, now they focusing on credit, like, trying to live off credit or maximize the credit, using that, like
Everybody has a credit repair nowadays.
Yeah, like how do you feel as far as like,
credit to me has become like watching a basketball game score. Like, people are obsessing about it. I think credit is not important. I think it's very important.
Okay.
And we need to pay our bills on time.
Yes.
And we need to minimize the amount of debt that we have.
Right.
we're done.
Simple as
Real
that.
quick, typically, what's the biggest credit vampire that may be bringing your score down that you don't even realize that was important? I know back in the days, Blockbuster was getting cats because they wasn't returning their tape.
And Macy's was too,
Gotcha,
with late
Pop.
fees.
Oh yeah. Well, I think it is. It's amount of debt that people are in is what I've noticed more than anything. So people, you don't understand what it means just to pay your bills early, how that can improve your credit score. So paying them early is everything.
That's
But
the opposite of my
I do
mentality
that with
because
my
I always
car.
do the grace period.
No,
Do
bro,
you
you gotta hit it. You gotta hit it early. That's how
You have to.
always-
You don't know what that's going to do for your score when you start paying early.
Right.
Well, you know what, and I think I'm gonna try to, but it's only usually
I'ma
like with
try
rent.
it.
You know
I'ma
what I'm
try.
saying? It's
We
only usually-
You don't want your late fees because just in case you forget, then you get late fees. I don't mess with that. I always pay my stuff early.
Yeah. And, the other big issue that our community has is student loans. It
Yeah.
is killing people's credit.
Yeah.
And so now you're done with school or you didn't finish school, people are walking away, but it's like, you still got to pay.
Still gotta pay that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, yo, I am so glad you came and blessed us with the information. And it's about to be
Happy
tax
to be
season,
here.
so you
Oh,
gotta
you
come
know
back
I'll be
through.
back,
So you can
yes.
scare
Yes, man.
everybody with that.
I'm scared already.
Everybody.
Yo, me and me having the craziest tax conversations because I always be trying to be like, I know,
Oh, my-
but how can we cheat?
How can we finesse it?
yeah.
How can I get
Let's
the
watch the finessing people.
Indeed, man. One more time with your IG.
Jini Thornton, JiniThornton. Thank y'all.
You have,
Thank
you have
you,
such a
Jeanette.
calming aura too. Thanks for bringing that
you.
energy in here.
She part of that Never Broke Nation. We rock with it, man. It's the Morning Hustle, man.
We are the Morning Hustle.